of society is that نحن كلنا Sudanese. We are all Sudanese, whether we are of Arab origin or of African origin. نحن كلنا Sudanese. Shouldn't this insistence on our Arabness? Let us become Sudanese. What is wrong with this? That at all does not mean that we will drop our Arab cultural heritage, because it is a major contribution to Sudanese culture and to the Sudanese identity. That does not mean we drop Islam, because Islam is a Sudanese religion. Let us first and foremost accept ourselves as Sudanese. This is what can unite us. Al-Uruba cannot unite us. Africanism that is opposed to Uruba cannot unite us. Islam cannot unite us. Christianity cannot unite us, but Sudanism can unite us, because it is the common cause. Let us also drop these crazy ideas that we must all be Arabs. Even God will not accept this. In His infinite wisdom, it is this same God that made the Arabs, that made the Nuba, that made the Fur, that made the Dinka, that made the Nubians, that made the Bija, that made the Shuluk, that made all the 500 different ethnic groups in the Sudan. And who is this to amend God's creation? The Munay Abiamul amendment. This person. Zol al-Biamul amendment, I would say, is against God. I will win this case. Wallahi al-Azim. We as Sudanese have a concrete anchor. We have an anchor in history. Is our mind that anchor in history? Then you are a nobody, and whatever you are doing will come to nothing. لكن عندنا حدود حقيقي في تاريخ. We go back a long ways, and sometimes it is necessary to go back in order to go forward. And we need to make this exercise in the Sudan, so that we can find our bearings. Because if you don't have a past, then you cannot possibly have a future. إلا تخلقوا. But then we do not fall from the sky. We have been here all along. There is also a series of books, The General History of Africa by UNESCO, volumes 1 to 7. Volume 2 covers the Nile Valley and the Horn of Africa. I recommend that you read, you acquire and read this book. It's by UNESCO, and it is authoritative. It has lots of research. I also recommend that you read a lot about ancient Egypt, which is very much interconnected with the Sudan. We have a long history. Peoples and kingdoms have lived, thrived, and disappeared in the geographical area now that constitutes the present Sudan. Yet, and despite all this wealth of historical evidence, the present and previous rulers in Khartoum present a false picture of our country, as if the Sudan started with them, and as if the history and reality of the Sudan consists only of specific parameters, Arabism and Islamism. We are much bigger than that. Our contention in the SPLM is that the Sudan belongs to all the peoples that now inhabit the country, and its history, its diversity, and richness is the common heritage of all the Sudanese people. It is important to establish this firm anchor in history and to affirm that the Sudan and we, the Sudanese, are indeed a historical people. And so let no one push you off the rails of history. Kan عاوز اللي يزوق برا من التاريخ انت كنغش هنا قول لا. I am here to stay and I have equal rights like anybody else. I have called this historical diversity. And it is very rich. Our academicians, our scholars should have museum min al-study. We should have interdisciplinary teams from various disciplines to study our languages. Because there's a lot of commonality. We articulated our objective as the achievement of the new Sudan, a new Sudanese political dispensation, and that this new Sudanese political dispensation cannot be forced on people. It must be voluntary, and therefore in our literature we have what we call voluntary unity of the country. That is where the issue of the right of self-determination comes in, and it is important that this be put in its proper context. The right of self-determination, and it has concerned many Northerners, that this will bring disunity, that it will bring separation. And I say quite categorically, yes, it can bring separation if the new Sudan is not achieved. Nobody would accept to be a second-class citizen in his or her own country. And so, unless we achieve a new Sudanese political dispensation, a new Sudan that belongs to all of us equally, in which we are equal stakeholders, then why should I remain in a country where I'm called Abid? No, I will not. But then, let us therefore take the bull by the horns and change the Sudan so that it belongs to all of us, so that it remains united. Otherwise, what is it that we have agreed? We have signed 6 agreements: Machakos, security arrangements, wealth sharing, power sharing, 2 areas with Ajubal and Nuba, and Blue Nile, Wabie. These 6 protocol agreements constitute the core peace agreement. And so we can actually say that we have reached a peace agreement. We are left only with 2 issues: a comprehensive ceasefire and implementation modalities, which will be annexes. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of the peace agreement. We don't have the time to do that. And they are also available in the internet. You can visit our website, www.splmtoday.com. They are also available in other Sudanese websites, and many of you have read these documents. I am aware that the new Sudan has been criticized by some people in the past as utopian, that it is wishful thinking. This is because, as we have seen, the new Sudan has several dimensions. It is at the same time a vision,